Hello and welcome to the Howard Wright Know Your Money podcast. I'm Ashley Smith.
And I'm Tom Richards.
On the Know Your Money podcast, we talk about everything finance, from financial planning tips to how what's going on in the world around you affects the money in your wallet and, most importantly, your financial future.
If this podcast helps you, please like and subscribe so we can help as many people as possible moving forward. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing our top tips on how to choose a financial advisor. If you follow these tips, you should be well on the way to working with an advisor that can help you define and achieve your financial goals. So Ash, to start things off, what's your first tip for choosing a new financial advisor?
So the first tip that we have would be to have a look at that advisor's qualifications. So within financial services, there's a minimum level of qualification that is required by individuals for them to be able to give regulated financial advice. This is known as a diploma level advisor. Over and above that, there are additional qualifications that can be obtained by those who are committed to being at the top of their profession. The gold standard in our industry for a financial advisor practice such as Howard Wright is to become a chartered firm of financial advisors. There are different criteria that you need to meet to achieve that, but ultimately you need a large proportion of your advisors to be chartered, and you need to give good quality sound advice. Second tip that we would have would be for you to review existing client experiences. So if you know and are able to speak to an existing client of that financial advisor who has a similar situation to yourself, this could help you gain a real insight into how that advisor operates and whether or not that would be suitable for you. In today's modern world, however, even if you don't know anyone that works with that advisor, it's not a huge problem, because you can simply go online and have a look at the Trustpilot, the Google reviews, or even the client stories page if the advisors have any. This will allow you to gain an insight not only into one client, but a whole range of different clients. And it's likely, therefore, that you will find someone that is just like you from a financial point of view, that has used that advisor and can give their honest feedback. You'll also see, if you want to have a look, our website, we have a 5-star Google reviews and Trustpilot rating, and lots of client stories for you to go on and have a look and see if any of those resonate with you. Third tip is the costs. So costs can vary dramatically across our industry. You need to ensure that any costs that are applicable are clear and identifiable up front. Will you be paying commission for things such as life cover and income protection, or will it be fees for things such as pensions, investments? What level of service will you get for the fee that you pay is also another thing to have a look at. So like most things in life, just because it might be the cheapest or the most expensive, it doesn't mean it's the best or the worst. Different advisors will have different charging structures and different service levels. You may find that a more expensive advisor actually is better for you than a cheaper advisor because of the additional services that they provide, whereas for others it might be a nice, cheap and cheerful contract that works best for them. So make sure that whatever it is that you're looking at doing, the service and the cost is right for you. Tip number 4 is, are they an expert? So financial advice covers a diverse and often complex number of different areas. If you're looking for any specific areas of advice, it's worth looking at how experienced the advisor is, or is there anyone else within that business that is more experienced in that area that could possibly be referred on to you for your advice. Testimonials, as we've already touched upon, can be a great way of working this out, and asking lots of questions of that advisor when you first speak to them will help you understand whether or not they're experts in that field, and if they're not, is there someone else that you could work with. The next tip is tip number 5, and that's, do they have a website? So it's not essential, but in today's modern world, nearly every business has a website, and a great deal can be understood about a business from its website. How up to date is the website? It can give you a lot of the sort of background information of the first few tips there. What areas do they specialise in? Do they have any reviews? Do they have any client stories? At Howard Wright, not only is our website nice and up to date, it's full of client stories, it also gives you quite some detail on our full history, all the way back to the 1930s. It gives you a bit of information about the team so that you can really delve into Howard Wright as a business and see if they are right for you. Tip number 6 is, how big is the business? Is it an advisor in a large organisation, or is it somebody operating on their own? Both will have their pros and cons. Neither of these are the right or the wrong way to do it, and for many people out there, the advisor in a large corporation may be right, may be wrong. An advisor working on their own may be right, may be wrong. So again, like most of these tips, make sure that it's whatever is right for you, because one thing doesn't fit all. A good thing to have a look at though, and keep in mind, is if it is one advisor, or even if it's an advisor working in a large company or a large organisation, how many people do they look after? If they have large numbers of clients, are they going to be able to service you in the way that you want? Will the advisor be able to provide you with that required level of service? Do they have any support staff or colleagues? So obviously a larger organisation, if the advisor does have more clients, they are more likely to be able to service those, because they will have paraplanners, administration staff that can help them in servicing your contract. At Howard Wright, a key ingredient to our success is having a team that's built for the future. A lot of our clients like the fact that their advisor is most likely going to be able to service them for the rest of their lifetime. Tip number 7 is, use your heart. People buy people. It's a phrase that we've heard many, many times. And the advisor is someone that you will have to work with, and you will be working with. Certainly when generating the plan in the first few meetings with them, you're going to spend a lot of time with them. You need to be able to get on with them. They need to be on the same wavelength of you, and you ultimately need to enjoy spending time and working with them. You could be spending an incredible amount of time with them over the next X amount of years. If you imagine you're 30 and you don't want to retire until you're 60, 65, well, there's 30 to 35 years. Financial advice doesn't stop at retirement, it continues on through retirement, and if your average life expectancy is into the 90s, that's a lot of time you're going to be spending with potentially 1 or 2 people. So that's always something to keep in mind. Tip number 8 is, use your head. So after you've used your heart and you've established someone that you can work with, you need to go through and address all the areas outlined in this podcast, and just check them off and make sure that the advisor that you're choosing is right for you. As we've stressed, just because the advisor is right for someone else doesn't always mean that it's right for you. So make sure that all these different areas, you get your priorities sorted, and make sure that if tip number 1 or tip number 2 or tip number 3 is the most important to you, they're the ones that you're looking for.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for those points, Ash. I think our listeners will absolutely love those when looking for a new financial advisor. Now, I'm sure there'll be many of them thinking, can Howard Wright help me with my financial planning? Can you explain to our listeners how we can help?
Of course. So firstly, hopefully we've managed to give you a few things to consider when looking for your financial advisor, as we don't want you to make a mistake. And even if that isn't Howard Wright that you ultimately end up with, we want to make sure that all of our listeners pick the right advisor for them. As always, it would be our pleasure to discuss with any of our listeners how we could possibly help achieve their financial goals through one of our discovery meetings. They're completely free of charge. We can explain our services, explain how we can help relative to that client's objectives, and we can even put our initial financial overview together completely free of charge. If you would like to speak to myself or one of the other chartered advisors here at Howard Wright, please go to our website www.howardwright.co.uk and fill in our inquiry form, or alternatively give us a call on 0345 688 4939. We can then book you in and have a good chat and go through your objectives with you. Thank you very much for listening to the Howard Wright Know Your Money podcast. I've been Ashley Smith.
And I've been Tom Richards.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe or share on your socials. And if you're listening to us on Apple Music or Spotify, please drop us a follow and leave us a review.
It really helps other people find the podcast, enabling them to know their money better and build stronger financial futures. Please also check out the Howard Wright Linktree for loads more tips, tricks, articles, videos and podcasts just like this one. And most importantly, stay tuned for future episodes.
This recording contains information from sources believed to be reliable, but no guarantee, warranty or representation express or implied is given to its accuracy. Howard Wright does not undertake any obligation to update or revise any future statements. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future results. Investments can go down as well as up, and actual results could differ materially from those anticipated. This recording is for the information purposes only and has no regard to the specific investment objectives or financial situation of any individual. The information contained in this recording is not intended to constitute and should not be construed as investment or financial advice. Appropriate personalised advice should always be taken before entering into any transactions. No responsibility can be accepted for any loss arising from action taken or refrain from being taken based on this publication. Howard Wright is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.